It's time for Team Battle Sion, and yes, this is the reworked Sion. I just played this game about a minute ago. This is the one, well, actually an hour ago. And I decided to put it together because people were going to be asking, so where's Sion? We demand Sion, hooray, 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 PPPP, and that kind of stuff. So, here's Sion. Attack damage red, attack damage crits, armor yellow, magic resistance blue, scaling, and 2190 masteries, because I'm not going to be building him glass cannon, but I need some offense at least early in order to do, stunts and kill people. So, the 2190 and Spirit Lizard Elder is going to be my first item, and then I'm going to be going tanky. So basically, I start red because I thought they were gonna, Lee Sin was gonna want to try to invade by going from his red to my red, but he doesn't. So the enemy team also has a Sion top lane, and he already just burned all his mana. So I go out to try to gank him, and he has a teleport, so unbeknownst to us, he's teleporting away. Smart move, actually. So we don't get a kill there. We could pop his, teleport if that's worth anything. Steal the enemy raids because, I can. Lee Sin comes in, hits me in the face. It doesn't matter. I don't feel any pain on a zombie. And my teammates get first blood, so I don't have to worry about that at all right now. So, scouring the land. So, Jungle Sion, the new Sion, what do I think of him? Holy shit, can he not really gank early? Like here, by the way, it's bad camera work, so I'm going to rewind it right now real quick. He really can't gank, but he can counter gank like a beast. It's sort of like the whole Rengu effect. I'll explain that a little bit. So Lee Sin and Ari go against my Azir teammate, and Ari recommits a little too hard, flashing forward and pretty much making it so I can CC her and then beat her to death. The Rengar effect and the Warwick effect, I don't know who to give it to, is where a champion is only really good at ganking once they reach like level 6. Prior to that, they kind of have problems. So, Sion, his wind-up time is pretty much a pain in the ass and not really that helpful. So, unless your teammates CC them for you, you're not going to be hitting anybody. By the way, this is cool. I love his ultimate. You see me waiting on the sidelines. I know they were going to engage on the John teammates, so as soon as it got, to that point, I jump in. And Tristana, unfortunately, lives because she has a heal still left, but Braum gets killed. Now, this is where I learned very quickly that Sion really is not a good duelist. I try to fight Lee Sin in a 1v1, and then the Q bugs out. I'll mention that in a bit. And I pretty much get my ass handed to me. So, there's been a Sion bug that you might see a little while. In fact, you actually see my opponent have it occur to him as well. And people have noted it on Reddit so far. Sometimes, for whatever reason, Sion just decides, you know what, I can't hold this axe any longer, and let's go. You don't get to supercharge it or anything. If it's a condition that we haven't been told, then maybe, but it's kind of really annoying, especially when you're trying to kill a jungle camp and you need those 2-second wind-ups so you can smash the camp. It doesn't really help anything. By the way, I love this. Tristana drilled my teammate, and then, from my inner tower to the outer tower, I just annihilated her. Here's the rewind of it. Braum and Tristana tower dive the Caitlyn pretty hard, and Braum dies. Tristana jumps in, and she's all casually just like, "Yeah, I got the kill," and she didn't react fast enough, and I just slammed her. So that was a good turnabout for me. I love that ultimate. It gives me a massive boner. Okay, like you guys just don't know. It's like the new jungle Sion is a dreamboat for junglers. Pre-level 6 ganking, yeah, it's pretty shoddy, but damn, the efficiency in clearing, the efficiency in skirmishes, and the level 6 ganking is bloody fucking strong. It is glorious, perhaps one of the most glorious level 6 ever. You can engage from pretty much anywhere, really. Though they have to be in a straight line, and hopefully not a lot of twists and turns, because damn, that actually gets hard. But the thing I love the most is his W. Q is really strong and all, but his W in team fights, how they made it work now, it's just, scales, how it scales now. It's beautiful. You'll see come to play in a lot of fights. And I also do really like the marker that tells you how much health you have left on it before it pops. It's really helpful. Anyways, the enemy team 3v3 engages my teammates on bottom. Lee Sin and Braum go ham on the Azir. And then Tristana tries to execute them a little bit, but really just can't. I pop it, I run in there, hit the Braum and the Lee Sin while they finish out Tristana. And that kick actually helped me because it put me in a better position, and the enemy team gets killed. I don't know what kills Lee Sin here. I don't know if it's my Q or if it's just a tinge of the red buff. So, yeah, for us. I go get blue, and I kind of also wanted to get dragon, but my teammates kind of just decided to scatter. We go Ferrari, then we end up getting this pink ward, and it turns out not to be the best idea because we end up forcing a fight when a lot of our stuff is down. Azir gets a little too ahead of himself and gets himself killed. With that, our team fighting is, we're forced to team fight here. We don't really have the resources, and Sion teleports, we back away, he comes in charging, he ends up slamming into a wall, and then we kind of just maul at him in the return. We really can't do much there, so he's just kind of, we let him go away. They get Dragon though, so that makes me sad inside. Oh yeah, we have a top lane Kha'Zix too. So, but the first item I purchased is Frozen Heart. Now I didn't buy health because honestly I don't need it as much. If you get good amount of resistances and health, your W shield becomes superly strong. And so you'll take notice of that. I'm going to be building him pretty much mostly tank. I'll get a Hex Drinker at some point in the game though. Because I felt I needed a little bit more damage. And I still don't know what other damage items would be good on, Mecha's Sion here. Every team engages, they kill the Azir, and goddamn, you see, it's really frustrating to try to get a max charge Q. If Braum hadn't come, I would have probably slammed Lee Sin hard. Though I slammed Braum here, and we destroy the tower, so he's pretty much going to be murdered right there. So, a semi-chubby Q on the Lee Sin. My teammates sort of maul at him, and they don't accomplish much. I like his Q. You have like 3 stages of it. The little swipe. It doesn't do too much damage, but if you Spirit of the Lizard or proc it in an AoE, so sometimes you can decide to do that. The chubby Q does the knockup and does a little bit of damage too, but you got yourself a small knockup. And the mass Q, the really strong black Q, it does a lot of damage and a huge knockup, and that's ridiculous. But, the chances of you getting it in a lot of fights is pretty much nil. Here, once again, we engage on the enemy team, and I go forward. Just look at how this shield works right now. I popped the shield for damage, and I didn't kill the Ahri, but all these shields I'm getting are keeping me alive. This shield right now helps me stay alive with the last slivers of my health. Then, look at that, just so little health, and then the Johnny gives me another shield. I survive a little longer. The enemy Sion comes in. Like, I'm not too afraid of sticking around because I have my shield to try to bait out things and deal a little bit of damage. But here's the big part. Sion is the last one on the enemy team remaining. Tristana couldn't continue fighting. Kha'Zix shows up and ends up killing her, I believe. Look here, Sion and Naya are chasing. It's like a biggest floppy dick fight right now. Like, we really can't kill each other. The shields we're getting is making it impossible to kill one another. But I keep popping his shield in order to make it so he can't, damage me. Kha'Zix shows up, and we finish him off. And he turns into, monster mode and tries to chase me down. So, Jungle Sion, what rating would I give him? Honestly, right now, it's looking to be like an A. Not perfect, because he's got a lot of issues with usability, and that bug on his Q is really fucking annoying, but so far not game-breaking, because, I don't think you can rely on a supercharged Q that much anyways, and his ultimate right now is fucking, difficult to control, though I'm pretty sure that's intentional. I give him an A, solid A. As far as tier list ranking, I can't say that yet. I'm going to be spamming the hell out of this champion. You bet your ass on it, so yay for him. Enemy team, we kill the enemy Sion, then we start pushing ahead, and they chuck me down a little bit. Here comes Braum. I'm in the middle of it all, and I get killed. And now in comes into play another part of Sion. His passive. I go up to Ahri, poke her in the butt, then turn around, poke Braum in the butt. So they get a double kill there. Kill steals? Probably. Actually, not the Ahri. The Ahri was probably a kill secure because she was going to run away. Braum, probably a kill steal right there. But it looked hilarious. I want to see how strong his passive is in the full-blown team fight. And it's really nice, but 1 CC and you're pretty much screwed. So you really you can't really do much in some fights. It's cool if you die like near the end of it, because then you can just poke everybody down to death. But if you die at the start of it, you're just gonna get killed by some AOE or some CC by some random thing. But it's cool. You act as a sort of second tank at that point, because if they don't focus you, you're gonna deal some considerable damage on anybody you get on top of. So another fight breaks out. We kill the Ahri. We can't really kill the Braum or the enemy Sion. So it doesn't mean they give a good chase, but alas, they attain nothing. We kill the Lee Sin, and here I get in a fight with the Braum, and just look at this, the wet noodle fight again. It's just, you can't really kill another tank as Sion. His damage is pretty terrible, but I know I didn't build any damage items, but if I had built damage items, one thing about Sion that I'd be damn sure is that it would be really hard to deal damage. I don't think damage Sion is going to become a thing. I mean, if you're trying to charge up your Q, almost anything could stop it, or most champions can get the hell away from it. But damn, can you do a lot of burst if they don't stop you? So there's that at least. So you can become some sort of pseudo assassin, charge in with your ultimate, their stun, then clobber them with Q, and hopefully they die by then, because otherwise you won't do much. I am strongly, adhering to the fact that a defensive-oriented bruiser Sion or a full tank Sion would be the way to go, with an emphasis on cooldown reduction. And so I have a Frozen Heart in this build, and the Rando and Zoma just to be tanky. Because look, I'll be annoying as hell. I'll be pretty much in everybody's faces and spamming the hell out of my Q. And they can't really focus me because I'm going to be, a huge-ass sponge, especially with my W. And then, if they do manage to kill me, my damage goes up, and as I poke them in their butts with my passive. But either way, here we get into a really bad fight, and here's where we die. And this is what I mean by his passive not being super effective, and when you're the only one alive. I can't poke anybody in their butts right now. They just slowed me down, and I'm running around until I drop dead again. Tristana jumps in, accomplishes nothing. So, Jungle Sion, again, give him an A ranking in jungling so far. And by the way, the whole, red champion has died or blue champion has died thing, that's a bug with low replay or spectator mode, I don't quite know. So, right now, Kha'Zix annihilates Ahri. I go in with my ultimate, a Sion. God, it gives me such a massive boner. The enemy Sion dies himself, and then he's going to try to poke people's butts and stuff. I jump into the fray. It's just, I can take a shitload of punishment. I can tank towers if I want to. But, again, it's like everybody can dodge your Q no matter what you do. And if it's part of the bug, by the way, then it's going to really need fixing. I try to cancel my Q to just get a chubby one. I mean, just, the knock up without any, strength behind it. And I just can't sometimes. So I think that's still also a bug. And that one's more game breaking than being able to charge it full way. So we try to get the tower, but alas, we don't. So we're forced to run away. The Ahri gives chase a little, doesn't she? Nah, it's just Lee Sin. He gives chase, and then, we just kind of bang him here in the jungles. We drag him to the woods and torque his pants off. So Ahri and Braum catch me. I try to poke people's butts, but against you see that I get CC'd and controlled, and then I rot away. Gangrene is death. Then Kha'Zix comes in and kills himself on Ahri, and then kills himself a Braum, and then they go after the Sion, and they try to kill him, but they realize, holy fuck, he's really fucking hard to kill. Then comes Tristana and annihilates the entire team. Motherfucking Tristana just got herself a Quadra because there's pretty much nothing that could be done. Those Sions are getting the last kill, so poor Quadra from the Tristana. So we've reached that point where the Tristana becomes the auto-attacking machine of destruction of death and doom and all that other stuff. I try to control my ultimate, I crash into a turret wall, and then, you pretty much get forced away. Now, here's a really sad thing. During this time, my dog decided to shit on the floor somewhere, and it was smelling a high heaven. So I stood up to go pick it up, and I told my teammates, don't do anything dumb. So right away, the Caitlyn decides to face check and die, and the Kha'Zix jump into the group of 5 as the enemy team got Baron, and my teammates pretty much get completely annihilated. Well, 2 get annihilated, and then the other 2 are back, run away. I come back after picking up that, disgusting ass dog shit, and I see damn, you guys died. What the fuck happened? So now it's pretty much a Baron throw so far. Can we snuff out a victory within this last minute? I mean, the gold gap has been pretty much caught up. They are about 1,000 gold behind only. So it's kind of sad. Hoping to, catch them off guard. Hopefully catching them, in a position where we can engage on them. But alas, no, Braum engages on us. I really can't do anything because I'm being blasted with CC and whatnot. And at the point where, I could finally probably do something, most of my teammates are dead. So we pretty much get aced right here. And the enemy team, like locusts into the Egyptian sands, decide to pretty much maul through our towers. And there's nothing much we can do to stop it. Yes, spoiler alert for the last 30 seconds of this video, we lose. We lost, an unceremonious loss. It's really sad, but, you got to see how Jungle Sion worked a little bit, and fucking loved it. I loved playing Sion now. Those are the words you never thought you'd hear me say. But I would recommend you trying him at least, and he's very cheap as a champion, $13.50. So, he gets my recommendation for trying. He's really hard to use. effectively, I mean, and his ultimate is hard to control. So there's that. Don't play him in ranked. Please try him in normal games first.